Hi, everybody. It's Doug and Scott from Promax Marketing Agency. So we're going to hop on here today and we're going to talk about what it takes to build your business into a multi-million-dollar business like Mr. Bailey has done at his teeny tiny little school in Knoxville, Tennessee. So what's the story, Mr. Bailey? What's the story? How do you build a business from nothing to multi-million dollars?
Man, it's been a 9 year process, 9 years. And we've been a multi-million dollar company now for this is we're in our third year right now of being a multi-million. So really 5 or 6 years to get to that $1 million point.
Really only took five. Yeah, okay. All right.
I'm not too shabby.
I've been in business for 20 and I still haven't gotten it, but then that's okay.
But no, when I first started this company, I had a business plan and it was about 160, 170 pages long and took it to all these different banks, right? And one of the banks, literally, I slid it across the table to him, nice formatted, had the little clear cover on it, beautiful, right? And he literally laughed at me and slid it right back across, right? So that was a sting to the heart and the ego a little bit. But the first bank I went to, he was a great guy. He had wound up loaning me $35,000 to start my company. I really wanted 50, but I said, it is what it is. We're going to do it.
Take what I can get,
Absolutely. So the first 3 years, I worked two other jobs. So I'd work Target in the morning from 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. And then I worked Office Max as a logistics manager from 7 to 3:30. And then I taught my martial art classes from 4 to 9.
Don't
And I
forget
did that.
Redbox.
Well, Redbox is when I left Target. Yep. So Redbox paid a little bit more. So I did that. I did all three of them for about 2 weeks. And then I left Target and did Redbox. But yeah, so it was a crazy couple years. I was a bachelor at the time, no family. I worked, put my nose to the grindstone and did it. Um, and so anyway, so fast forward a couple years, started an after school program. It just took off, grew and grew and grew. My martial art program was exponential growth too. But before that, I set the groundwork. And I think it's where a lot of people make mistakes, right? Is I knew I didn't want to be married to my company, right? I knew in the future I wanted a family. I want to be able to enjoy my family and not have to have my nose that grindstone all the time, right? And so, the very first thing I did within the first 3 months of being open is I hired an employee. I didn't take any money from the company, but I paid him, right? And I
Yeah.
did that for, a couple years, and I hired some teenagers on, and they were amazing. They helped grow this company tremendously. Spent a lot of time with them and, investing in them. And then, they grew up to be young adults and college kids that still work for me. And so again, it just that investment kept going, right? And so then I got married, adopted two kids, had two kids of my own, built two houses. Now it's crazy, crazy ride, man. Like I said, this year we should be pushing almost $2 million by the end of this year, which is incredible.
So you're going to do 2 million in revenue for your martial arts after school and summer camp program, but then you also have other things that you are divesting yourself into. So what are those?
Absolutely. So I have a financial advisor. So we put a lot of money. January 1st of every year, I invest into either a traditional Roth IRA. Sometimes we do a backdoor Roth. We max out our 401k on January 1st of every year. We put 22.5, which I think went up this year. I think it's 23 this year. But we just write the check January 1st and boom, it's done. And then
You
what else?
figure out how much money you're going to have at the end. So, when you turn 50, how much money is going to be in there. Have you ever figured that out?
Multi-million dollars. Because
So
I've been investing with my financial advisor since I was 19. He actually knocked on my door and at my house that I was living at the time. And I met him. That's how I met him. Just kind of old school. And so I started investing when I was 19. And so, I've already got a good chunk of money in there, which is
are we
coming
talking
in.
about tens of millions or hundreds of millions?
I'm hoping to get to hundreds of millions. Right now,
Okay.
we've maxed out everything that's tax deductible. And so now we're starting to diverge into more of brokerage accounts, right? So we're just dumping money into the stock market. All of the things that we can do for taxes is pretty much done. It's one of the reasons I started a 401k for my company, was because we could put up to almost $70,000 a year from me and my wife into our 401ks and write it off our taxes. So
Yeah.
last year we did $1.6 million inside of our company, a little bit more than that, but 1.6. And then we brought home personally almost $800,000 last year. which is an incredible return on investment. And
Oh,
again, I grew up
absolutely.
as a broke college kid, a broke young kid. My family, we ate hot dogs at the gas station. That was our eating out when I was younger, So to go from that to this is just incredibly humbling.
Well, and the best part is, you're gonna net, you personally, we're gonna net 1 million this year or more. And it all started 9 years ago. So I mean, this is how far you've come in such a short period of time. So it was what I heard was, I busted my butt for the first 3 or 4 years and really, managed to be able to put the investment into people that I put into my school. Not so much you, but you had income coming from somewhere else. But you managed to invest into the people. The people then helped your school grow. And then from there, it was just a matter of, being in the right place at the right time, maybe for something else. But I mean, here you are, and you've taken your school from zero to 2 million this year. And that's amazing.
Well, you talk about investing into people, like I had, I did a research project because I like data. That's what I stew on. It's how I make my decisions most of the time, Emotions don't do good with decision making, And so I found out that for every employee I've ever hired, their average return is $5,000 to $6,000 per month. So for every one employee I've hired, no matter the caliber or quality or where they're at in the hierarchy of the company, the average return is $5,000 to $6,000 per month, which is absolutely incredible.
Oh, that's amazing, because most people look at it the opposite way. They look at it as, I've got to pay somebody $20,000. So what you're doing is you're paying them $20,000, but they're bringing you
Yes,
60 or $80,000.
right.
So,
Absolutely.
is it worth it to hire somebody?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we've had great people, and so it's easy to do when you got great people, right? We've always had just good people inside our building, and that's the best part, about what we do is we train and develop people. So,
Fantastic. Well, listen, I appreciate your time, and everybody loves your story, and we'll make sure that that gets out. And if you have questions, make sure you can reach Scott. You want to drop an email address?
yeah, you can message me on Facebook, or we can do a Zoom. At sbailey at promaxmarketingagency.com. Like I said, pretty available anywhere, anytime. Just gotta schedule it. So
Yeah, and if you want a little less information, you can always ask me something, Doug at promaxmarketing.com. I'm not going to have as much good information as he does, though. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging with us. Short and sweet, to the point. We'll talk with you soon.